Yep, I'm going to fellate the Japanese again. They do deserve a lot of it, obviously. Where else are we going to get such good culture and media from? America? Europe? But I'm having a bit of a problem with my throat from the previous fellations, so I'm gonna have my SO do it for me this time. Toodles, see you later.
I'm the Mrs. Now, this is about Japan, right, honey? Okay. He said yes. This is going to be very short, but hopefully informative for you all. Questions first. Have you played a Japanese game and sometimes had the game reward you for thinking outside the box? You maybe stumbled off the beaten path for a bit, tried to explore a locked-off map section, probably used the mechanics in a place where the game least expected you to, and the game rewarded you for it with XP, items, or power-ups. It doesn't even have to be a concrete secret, which is impossible to find, unless you do things one specific way. It could just be a natural extension of the game's logic being applied in a unique scenario. This is called intuitive curiosity. It's when the designer tries to encourage out-of-the-box thinking by rewarding the player for being curious with just enough intuitive hints being peppered in. Take these images from Metal Gear Solid 3. This is in one of the initial areas, Rasvet, where you rescue Sokolov and meet Eva for the first time. When you visit this place for a second time, these boxes in both images are not part of the main level area and are in secluded corners. This prompts the players to think they enclose the wall and don't have any space behind them. But it turns out that they do, and behind them you can find game items, one of them being a face mask, which is pretty cool. This is a good example of the concept, when something is just out of reach and seems dull, but its intuitive construction prompts the player to explore it with rewards given for exploration. Another good example of the concept is in Dead Rising. This game has a lot of interactables which allow the player to earn extra XP, interactables which prompt the player by providing intuitive dynamic mechanics. The coolest example, which fits this concept, is the Wonderland Plaza roller coaster ride. In any other game, this wouldn't be interactable. It would be a texture or environment object with an invisible wall. But given the traversable space around it, the roller coaster area prompts the player to try to climb onto the roller coaster. Doing so, and going for a round, will net you a lot of XP, again showing that it was an intentional design decision. Arguably from the examples, this concept is something more prevalent in sandbox games, with rich detailed mechanics which are intuitive, dynamic, and logically consistent. That is quite true, but there are exceptions. The Zelda games have a lot of their secrets contain signals which provide clues to the player. The nature of these signals are like weird coincidences, breaks in world logic or extensions of existing world logic in seemingly out-of-place locations. Of course, Breath of the Wild has them too. The Koroks and other environmental oddities are examples of this. There's also the very rare example of this in Western games, build engine shooters. Retro FPS games have had secret hunting as far as we can remember, all the way up to Catacombs 3D. But the advent of the build engine is what made secret hunting in these games a niche art form of its own. The build engine is known for its heavy interactivity and world logic, with a ton of switches, buttons, breakable walls, crevices, and other things. And the secrets in these games, Blood specifically but the others too, are designed to prod the player to seek them. They're hidden just out of sight, and are intuitive enough that inquisitive players will be able to seek them quite easily. Given that they give the player extra resources, at times they become a more necessary part of the experience if the player wants to increase his or her survival chances. Okay, so I've rambled about this for a while. To keep it short and sweet, it's a very niche part of game design done so almost exclusively by Japs, which ends up making games feel more engaging and fun to play. It's a shame we don't get more of this in games. Damn shame. Next time you'll see the husband talk about some other crap, consider this a rare visitation if not a one-off. Bye-bye, ta-ta, sayonara, whatever.